Welcome back to the channel. My name is a-bomb. Welcome back to Football Manager 2021 and Eastern Resurgence 2 with Steaua Bucharest. Today we are taking on Hertha. We're well into January. Been a few signings. Been a sale, a big one. We have had a lot of bids for our players recently. And yeah, some key players as well. It's been really difficult to keep hold of some of our best players. Thankfully, none of them have complained too much. So it's going to be Hertha today. We played, I think, 3 matches off camera. We had 1 match before our winter break, and we played a couple more. I would have gone a bit further had there not been so much, development in the transfer window. There's been a lot of bids for our players. We've held on to most of our players. One of them, though, had to go, and it's a key player as well. So we'll see who that is in a minute. As always, if you're enjoying the series, drop a like down below and leave comments. They're the best ways to support the channel. And if you haven't done so already, or if you're new, then do subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's jump into it. Last episode, of course, we wrapped up our Europa Conference League group. We didn't win the group. We came second, so we are through to the knockout stages, which need to go through an extra round. We beat Dinamo Minsk 1-0, and we won in Ireland against Dundalk, but unfortunately, because we dropped points in both Rijeka games, we didn't win the group, and Rijeka ended up, did they end up unbeaten in the end? Rijeka won the group unbeaten, so they won the group. We came second, meaning we have to go into the first round of 16, and we've been drawn against Club Brugge, which might be a tough one. We'll have to see how that goes, and I think we'll do that next episode. But as I mentioned, we did play some games off camera, so let's have a look at the goals. Bisiste to Costanza. Here's Negoescu making a run down this right flank. And Lukic just come into the box. Can he find him? Instead, it's Aura. And inside 4 minutes, Steaua with the 1-0 lead. And Anissa Aura continuing his good form this season. Manalake to Georgion. Aura doesn't manage to hold on to the ball. And it's Arad now with it. Negura to Zhdanov. Floating ball up for Dorofte, but it's headed away by Manalake. Here's Nedalea. And he's sent through Lukic, and Lukic doubles the lead. We've just played 10 minutes, and it is 2-0 to Steaua Bucharest. Lukic with another goal this season. Here's Costanza. Loses the ball to Shavina. And here's Dorofte now for UC Arad. We're not quite a minute and a half into the second half. And there's Danov, and he's beating Cryu, and Arad have a goal back early in the second half. Cryu boots it up to Din, and he sent through Lukic, and it's a goal, and it's come straight from the goalkeeper. 1-0 Steaua, 39th minute, and Lukic with yet another goal. Morong to Costanza. Switches it to Martina. Here's Din. Negoescu. Lots of space in the wide areas here. It's Martina to Pavelka, and Jon is there on the overlap. Can he find the ball in there for Lukic or for anyone? It's Pavelka. It's Martina. And Negoescu pokes it in, and 3 minutes into the second half, Steaua doubled their lead. Negoescu with a goal. 2-0 now. Martina out wide for Costanza. Here's Nedalea. And it's Din, and that's a nice finish. And 7.5 minutes in, Steaua 1, Petrol Oplești 0. Here's Manalake to Georgion. Into the middle for Nedalea. Here's Cosmin Din. Great switch from Negoescu, great header, and Lukic has found a way through, and in the 40th minute it's 2-0, and Lukic continues his goal scoring form. He's unplayable this season, unplayable. So yeah, 3 wins off camera in the league, played a couple of intra-squad friendlies also, did a warm weather training camp in Spain. We lost to Barcelona B, but that's fine. So we are still on top of the table. We are 3 points ahead of Visceral, and we're 4 ahead of Astra, who have played a game extra. So we're looking good, we're 3 points clear at the top of the table. Things going very, very well. And as I said, Lukic is unplayable this season. 29 goals in 28 appearances, 18 goals in 15 league appearances. He'll get 50 in all competitions this season, I guarantee it. He'll get 50. Before we get into the home game against Hertha, transfers. Let's go through what's happened so far, shall we? So we've got 3 new players that have joined us. We organised these transfers not long after the summer transfer window closed. We were just, waiting for these guys to get fully scouted to see if we can bring them in. So we'll start with this guy, Simfue Nkosi, who is a South African central defender. 18, right-footed, great tackling, very good tackling, some really good mentals in there. He's very brave, he's fairly aggressive, the physicals aren't too bad. Only 18, lots of potential. He's come from Sundowns in South Africa. £300,000 is the fee there. Mikhail Boreyko is the next player. He's a Belarusian winger. He's 19, decent crossing for his age, good technique, a little bit of speed about him. He's coming from Izlok in Belarus. It's £180,000 that one. And from AIK in Sweden, we have Ivan Nihus. He's 19 years old. He's a central midfielder. Great first touch, great technique. Passing's not too bad at all. And some decent mentals in there. The one physical thing for that DLP is balance, which again is pretty good. And yeah, he's come from AIK, £500,000 there. And yeah, I like the look of this guy. He hasn't got 5-star potential, but definitely something there. Now, let's talk about departures. Now, of course, earlier this season, we lost Goran Eras to Dinamo Zagreb because they triggered his release clause. Another player has had their release clause triggered. It's not Cimpianu, although he has joined the team that we just recently beat, UTA Arad. The 23-year-old centre-back has fallen out of favour and become 4th, maybe 5th choice centre-back. He's gone to UTA Arad for just shy of £1 million. He was valued at 975, so I think that's about right sort of fee for him. We've got some money, so I'm alright with that. He just wasn't really playing as often as he would have liked. But the player who has had their release clause triggered that has left the club is Marko Lukovic. It's our left back. One of our left backs anyway. Had a tremendous season last year for us. Got a couple of goals. Was incredible. And it's Shenzhen from China that had triggered the release clause. £2.5 million. And he's gone. I mean, we got him for 160k from Serbia. Really, really good. And the past couple of seasons, he's been our key left back. He's been really good. This season, Georgion has kind of taken his place, but Lukovic was still very much a useful player at 25 and still very good. But yeah, unfortunately, he has gone. And if we look at our squad page, you can see there are other players wanted. Rares Nedelea has not got a release clause in his contract. And he's been also subject to a bid from Shenzhen and from another Chinese side, DL Pro. He has got 2 years left on his deal, but if we offer him a new deal, he doesn't want to join because he's interested in another club. He hasn't come to us to complain yet, but he's definitely interested. Meanwhile, Filip Lukic, another player that has been subject to some bids. Bursaspor want him, and Shenzhen also went after him as well. Now, his release clause is much higher. It's £3.6 million. But he's got 4 years left on his deal. We haven't long done this contract. We did it at the start of the season to get that release clause up a bit. Andre Zubel is another player that the Chinese sides have been after. Shenzhen and DL Pro have offered bids for him as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be a struggle from here on to keep hold of our best players. We've lost Erez, we've lost Lukovic. And that's the thing with these lower leagues in Europe is that quite often with contract negotiations, the agents of the players will demand a release clause of some sort, and they're not usually very high. When we renewed Lukic's contract, the agent limited the release clause to 3.6 million. We couldn't make it any higher because the agent had limited it. So it's going to be a real struggle, I think, from here to keep hold of our best players as we raise, the reputation of the club. Some of these players are going to be subject to more and more bids. It's going to be difficult to keep hold of them. Anyway, let's jump into the Hermannstadt game. The form is really good at the moment. We haven't lost a game since we've got FM against Rijeka, so I'm really pleased with how we're doing. I'm going to make one change to this team. Din is a bit tired, a bit jaded, so we're going to replace him with Gabriel Toma. Iranzo's been playing, and he's actually been doing pretty well, so I'm going to keep him in. There were just a few mistakes sneaking in here and there at the start. And then Bukoviak's going to go on the bench because we no longer have Lukovic. Bukoviak's a decent utility player at left back. Not really, up to scratch with the rest of the team. But, when he's played, he's been okay. He got 17 appearances last season, 9 starts. He did okay. But we have been looking for, essentially, replacements for Cimpianu to get a new right-sided centre-back. But we haven't really found one that really, hits home yet. And I think we'll have to look for a replacement for Lukovic as well so that we can have, a good left back to compete with Georgion. And also Ismail's contract is up at the end of the season, so we might need to get ourselves a centre forward for if Lukic can't play. But Lukic has been amazing so far this season. Hopefully he can keep it up. But we are underway in this home game against Hermannstadt. I think when they played us last season, I think they beat us 3-1. And I think that pretty much cost us the title. So hopefully we can get a result here. I mean, a goal this early would be very nice, but Lukic just sneaks it to the wrong side of the post. Tanko looks for the long ball, but it's cut out by Costanza. Iranzo gives it to Negoescu. And Shimadi has got the ball back here for him. Goes for goal. Cryu makes the save. That was a great long-range effort there by the Hermannstadt player. Oh, and Tudorake just rattles the bar. There hasn't really been much to talk about in this first half. If anything, Hermannstadt have actually looked more likely to score. And as I say, that Madalake has just put us in front at the last minute of the first half. It's a set-piece goal. You don't see those too often. We haven't scored a lot of heady goals this season. Not a lot at all. But we take a 1-0 lead in the last minute of this first half. Pavelka with the free kick. Manolake with the header about 10 yards out. Good goal. And we have that 1-0 lead. Hasn't been a great first half. Hermannstadt actually before this probably looked more likely to score. It's onside. Manolake does give us the 1-0 lead. Lukic has got a bit of a tight thigh, as we said, but it looks like it's going to be okay. Just going to knock it down to positive. Just, you know, see how the game goes. Don't want to go too attacking and leave ourselves open. So we'll stick it on positive, go into the second half and see if we can get ourselves another goal. I'm over to Ailders. And it's going to fall to Chigir. And it's Tudorache. Great save by Cryu there. Hermannstadt have had a couple of chances in this game. And we haven't really had too many. We got the goal, but other than that, we haven't really looked too good in this game. And a header by Tudorache goes over. Just to be safe, I'm going to replace Lukic and bring on Taufik Ismail. Nigoisku's been a bit poor today as well. We're going to replace him. Let's go Petre. He's apprehensive, but I want to give him a bit of game time at the moment. In the last 10 minutes of what's been a pretty underwhelming game, this hasn't really been the most, the highest quality match. But we need a second goal really, because we could drop points. Hermannstadt have, you know, not looked terrible. Here's Ismail. We have doubled the lead. There we go. 2-0, 86 minutes. Ismail, with only his 4th for the season, he has lost his place to Lukic. That was always going to happen, and it has happened. Nederlaer to Martina. Great one-touch pass up to Ismail. And the finish past the goalkeeper. 2-0. And that should be us home and dry now. I'm going to make my last change. Just going to take off Costanza for Bisiste. And that's full time. 2-0. Pretty underwhelming match, but we got the job done. I mean, that's been the MO at the moment. We beat Vitterol 2-0. We beat Ploiești 2-0. And now we're beating Hermannstadt 2-0. That seems to be the go-to at the moment. They've been alright performances. Not completely dominant, but, you know, it's been enough. And that Vitterol game was big as well. That was a top 2. And we beat them 2-0 at home. So we got 3 points clear of them. We're now 5 points clear of them because Vitterol have just drawn against Craiova. So we're 5 points clear at the top of the table. That is 8 league wins in a row now. We're in a really good run of form in the league. Really, really impressive. I think we're telling the other teams we mean business this season. We just missed out on the title last year, dropping points in the last few games and losing to FCSB. This year, I think we've let everyone know that we won our title back because we don't seem to be showing any signs of stopping anytime soon. We've got the bottom club Gloria next. And then we have an eternal derby against Dinamo as well, who we've beaten like 11 times in a row now. And Clinceni after that, who is second bottom. So we should really be up in that run to 11 in a row. And then Cluj after that could be a tough one. But yeah, we're on a really, really good run form at the moment, and it doesn't show any signs of stopping. But next episode, we're going to jump ahead to Club Bruges and the Europa Conference League knockout. So we're going to do 6 games off camera. What I'll do is I'll do the first leg next episode, which will be on Tuesday. And then we're going to do an extra video on Wednesday for the second leg. And then we'll just jump through Europe as quickly as we can. Until we go out, which hopefully we won't. So hopefully we can go a step further, but Club Bruges is going to be a tough one, and there's some good sides left in this competition. I think AC Milan, Arsenal and Mönchengladbach are going to be the 3 sort of biggest sides in this. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below and leave comments. And if you haven't done so already, or if you're new, then do subscribe and turn on notifications. And next episode, we'll jump back into Europe and the knockout stages of the Europa Conference League. The league's going really well at the moment. We've won 8 league games in a row. Hopefully that will continue a little bit longer. And we're 5 points clear at the top of the table. So, you know, the league stuff's going really, really well. Let's just see if we can get ourselves another good European run this year. And maybe win another cup as well. We've got the cup game coming up soon, the Romanian Cup games. We'll be back. So we'll see if we can get ourselves another cup this season. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.